of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 election in Ogun State, IOladipupo Adebutu, the legal battle over the poll is far from over. Well, Adebutu was arraigned before a state high court sitting in Abeokuta as the federal government amended the charges against him. The charges include allegations of financial inducement of voters during the March 18, 2023 governorship election in the state. And at the resumed hearing of the matter, Justice Abiodun Akinyemi granted the application for the amendment. Karen, let's get your thoughts on this matter. How might this ongoing legal battle now impact Adebutu's political future within the PDP and in Ogun State in general? Let's start with that.
Yes, the impact should be more on our politicians, not just about him. Because what we've noticed in the last two elections, the one before this and this particular last one, is the rate of vote buying by politicians. It has become a problem, a serious problem. And time again, we've come to realize that. But most often than you also look at it from the poverty level of Nigerians. Remember in the 80s, what they used to do then is to put 1 naira or 2 naira inside bread. And distribute it. And so you remember, yes, that's what used to happen in those days. We saw it now. They just say, hey, egg bread, everybody collect bread. And they give you bread, and you know they already have the other stuff. But it's gone high-tech now. In the case of, the case against him is that during the governorship election on March 18th, it was alleged that he printed 200,000 ATM cards and loaded it with 10,000 naira each. And that was distributed. That was high-tech for him. Because before it used to be a card. Next level of inducement. So he was, his boys were caught with that and the rest of them. And that is why the question I asked, did Adebutu just end up in his house and start printing ATM cards? That is the work of a bank. So if we're talking about Adebutu, what of the bank that was behind that? What reason was he have given to the bank to give the instruction that you have to print 200,000 ATM cards? So, but it is good. If you can see this through, it will also serve as a lesson to other politicians who have been driving. Don't forget that during the last election, even the EFCC let its mandate, which is to prosecute financial crime. I was running after those that were inducing politicians that were inducing people. And you ask yourself, what is the workforce of the EFCC? When they still have so many things to do, they left their job to be running after politicians. I hope and believe that this will do. On his political, Nigerian politicians don't have shame. This is a fact. We know this as a fact. There have been so many of them have been caught for stealing billions and billions of naira. Some of them are in the National Assembly. They are in the Senate. What happened to them? Some got jailed, and for whatever reason, the court let them go for whatever, for sleep excuse. They are in the Senate. We know those that are governors who are being prosecuted today for stealing, quote unquote, so billions and billions of naira. What happened to them? We know somebody that is not even a former AGF of this country that allegedly stole 109 billion naira and was taken to court and being prosecuted. And we heard there was a plea bargain. He agreed to return 40 billion. The remaining 69 billion is still with it. In fact, a few weeks ago, he was turbaned in one of the states in the north. So that's what we're talking about. But the issue also remains the fact that even the INEC, does INEC have the capacity to prosecute most of these people? Do they have enough lawyers to do the job? In fact, they are bogged down. If you see what they've been going through, at times self-inflicted issues, because if INEC had gotten it right during the election, all these problems are going through, they won't go through. And that has been my personal opinion. When I said INEC did not perform woefully during the last election, in some of the elections, I have a reason. Because if you look at the processes where people now vote, millions of Nigerians vote, and one judge just wake up one day and say, I have annulled the votes, and just pick someone else. That makes a total mess of our mockery of our electoral system. And that in itself can cause, yes, this causes, so next time people just say, why do you have to go and vote? If I know that at the end of it all, this thing will go to them, it doesn't count. So we have to be very careful.
Yeah, that raises a question in terms of strengthening our democratic institutions. So how do we ensure that people have that confidence, that public trust? Even if the government is trying its own way to perhaps arraign this politician, perhaps to serve as a deterrent to others. But how confident are you, and what will it take to ensure that we have strengthened democratic institutions in the country where people are held accountable for their activities and, there's transparency in government?
I think it starts with lawmaking. Now, take for instance, I know they are trying to amend the laws, some of the laws. I'm not sure the lawmakers will want to make laws that will be against them when they know that they are going to come back for re-election.
Right.
Now, we are talking about a politician now. Why don't they make a law, okay, and saying that if you are caught or prosecuted for vote buying or for things like this, it's life imprisonment. And then ensure that the special court, looks into that matter and takes it,
follows it through.
And it shouldn't be more than a month. Let's begin to, if we begin to do things like that and make sure that a special team, a special court is on it. When once you are caught with vote buying or you are alleged, let me use that, for vote buying, in 1 month, 2 months, the case is out. If the person is caught, life imprisonment. Let's begin to have laws that are stringent and make people run away, and then we'll begin to know that our institutions are working. Even INEC will not be bogged down with saying they want to go and look for who is doing vote buying, and EFCC will leave their office and begin to look for who is carrying ATM card and the rest, or bread in those days. You understand? Because we've seen several times that the EFCC have gone to elections, which I have covered. Several times they will say EFCC have arrested XYZ number of people. At the end of the day, we don't hear anything again about that matter. So if the lawmakers are sincere and they want our institutions to be stronger, let them begin to come up with stringent laws that will deter people from going in, even thinking of going this. But I tell you, Esther, once those laws, they bring those laws, these same lawmakers will always look for somewhere and talk in another place in the law book that will free them.
So, but doesn't it also raise a question about reorientation of the people? Because the people, the lawmakers are from the people. So if the people have this mindset...
Do they listen to the people?
No, I'm talking about we the people. We the people we make up the government, because it is from us that we have the leaders that govern us. So if amongst us, in our public space, in our little spaces, we're not able to abide by the principle of doing what is right, for instance, and then we are to be able to scale down or go into the level of, if you're going to public offices, you are accountable to the people that you are there to serve. So perhaps a reorientation starting from home, for instance, they say charity begins at home. Wouldn't you agree with this?
Yeah, I think, yes, the people can do theirs. I know that anytime there's a new law, they allow people to come in, you bring your own suggestion and all that. But how many of our lawmakers are there for service, if not for them to just go there and enrich themselves? That is it. So that is why so many Nigerians are always having this voter apathy. Imagine the number of people that have PVCs. And when it comes to election day, they would prefer to sit in their house and watch African Magic or watch soccer rather than going to vote. Why? Because just like CKN said, they will tell you, hey, we already know who is going to win the election. So the thing, we need to start, the lawmakers and we the people will need to start looking at, or INEC, let me use INEC.
Right.
INEC now will need to start sensitizing people on how they will be able to, vote, and also, if possible, bring in how they can determine the kind of people that we need in those leadership positions. Because anybody can, because right now, what we just see is that somebody from somewhere, because maybe this person is a philanthropist, people will say, go and vote for the person. They don't know the kind of person he is. And at the end of the day, that same person will be the one to make the laws for everybody. Because once they are in the National Assembly, we don't know who the person is. We just know it's the National Assembly that is making the laws. But we need good people. We need people who are there for service. And that's why when we are talking about reducing the number of how much they are making, They will tell you no, they don't want to. They can't do that because Abuja is expensive. So they need to live very, very ostentatious lifestyle. But no, we don't want people. We want people who will go to the National Assembly, who will be serving the people rather than serving themselves.
How do you leave this finally, Sikian?
Yes. As far as this case is concerned, we rest assured that some political undertone will come into it. The opposition, PDP, will definitely come out to ask and say that the man is being prosecuted because he's a member of the
opposition
PDP and not that of the APC. And that is part of the problem we have. You know, as much as I will agree with that argument, because it cut across, it's not just PDP. It cut across all the political, no matter what. But the fact remains that there are three basic fundamental issues that the average politicians, our politicians and leaders lean on to be able to do what they do. One, poverty. They know the level of poverty in the land, and they capitalize on it. An average man is giving 5,000 naira to come and vote for somebody. He knows what 5,000 is going to do, but it doesn't even look at the effect of what he's doing or what he or she is doing in the next 4 years. That person will be there. He will give you 5,000 naira, but you can be rest assured for that 5,000 naira, the man is going to make millions and millions. That is one. The second one is religion. They play on religion a lot. When it comes to politics, they know how to play religion. Seriously. Oh, I'm this, you are not this, you are not that. And the other one is ethnicity. Oh, he's not an Igbo man, he's a Yoruba man, he's an Hausa man. Tribalism. And they know how to play this properly. The problem we have in Nigeria, I've always asked, the problem with Nigeria, is it the leadership or followership?
Let me hold your thoughts. Let's quickly take this call from Makodi. Can I please go ahead with your contribution?
Yes, hello.
Yes, good evening. We can hear you. Go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you very much. I think the issue of vote buying, let's say that we have to start from, the kind of governance we have in the country. Are we being fair to the public? Yes. And then again, it cuts across a lot of things. Before the penalties will come in, so many things have to come in place. One, let us count on the governance we have, because we operate a fair system of government in this country. I'm so sorry to use that word anyway, but it's the truth. Because if you look at the issue of vote buying, people who go out to vote, the electorate, they're handicapped. Some of them have been denied so many things that are supposed to be given. At some point, when you go to the polling unit to vote, let's take, for example, some people in the rural environment, somebody's looking for 10 naira to buy Maggi, to buy any cube to, make the food to eat. And then somebody comes with money, 200, 300 naira to give you. Come on. You look at it in that way. If I collect this money, it will be of help to me. And these are the issues. These are some of the issues that normally comes and people, involve themselves in this kind of thing. Before somebody should be prosecuted, let's try to analyze the system. What is the problem? What are we supposed to do as a people, as a nation? I totally am not an agent of vote buying. I condemn that in totality. But the law, I heard a gentleman say something in the studio, talks about the law should be made in such a way that people will shy away from this. If those laws are being put in place and we're followed up, I think we have to go a long way.
All right.
Let us not look at people, look at people, yes, this one is above the law. The National Assembly can make some laws that could suit them.
Thank you so much, Kenneth, for your insights. I appreciate all you've said so far. So, Kenny, before you were wrapping up, you're telling us that the problem is a problem from followership or from leadership?
Yes, the is the followership on leadership. Because if you look at across the globe, the way Amana's citizens go about it, we are talking of government. Who is government? The elementary definition of government. We know that. What is democracy? Elementary definition of democracy. And copy this democracy from somewhere. Why are we not practicing it the way Amana was handed over to us? And if you say that one is not working, why don't we find a homegrown democracy for ourselves that will work for us? If you understand what I mean. Right. A homegrown. There was a time in this country that they say election is not, we're having problems. We came out with an option A4, which has remained the best. Election. There's nothing like option A4 in any book in the world. You cannot see any book. It was invented by Nigerians, and I remember vividly that all of us went and queued at the back of the candidate we want to vote for. There was no way you can manipulate that. So what I am saying in essence is that most people say, oh, a country or a people get the kind of leaders. No, it's not. Yes, it is not. We must continue to be outspoken. We must hold our leaders accountable, irrespective of however they want to oppress us.
Right.
The fact remains that the mandate for them to be doing whatever they are doing still lies with us as citizens.
Right, that's where we have to leave this discussion. Let's quickly go on a very quick break. Still on to Journalist Hangout. We'll have more discussions coming your way in just a moment. Do stay with us. Now, the rising costs of food items has put